I have never really been physically revolted by anything I read in books because I don't tend to read gross or creepy books, so my reaction to this was a bit like... Ugh. Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Emily, and it's been about, 2 seconds since I had an opinion on a book, so it's about time I do a sort of controversial tag. The Book Sacrifice tag is a series of 4 questions that are wacky, weird scenarios, and you have to answer with a book that basically you wouldn't mind destroying. Link to the original tag creator is in the description below, and let's get started. Scenario number 1 is you are browsing in a bookstore and then BAM! Zombie attack. An announcement comes over the emergency system that says that the zombies' one and only weakness is for you to throw an overhyped book at them. What is a book that a lot of other people like but you think is really overhyped and you are totally willing to chuck at a zombie? This book for me has to be, it's a couple years old now, but Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. I know this is sort of a polarizing book, like a lot of people either really love it or a lot of people really hate it, and there's not a whole lot of in between. I'm actually a little bit in the middle. I don't particularly hate this book. I definitely don't love it, but I don't particularly hate it. To me, it's mildly annoying at worst what they did for the characters, and at least I don't care about any of them. And when you can put a Harry Potter book in my hands and I don't care about any of the characters or any of the plot or anything that happens on the page whatsoever, that's wrong. The book is overhyped. I don't know, maybe the play was fantastic if you're seeing it in person, but as a book, Scenario number 2 is you are just leaving the hair salon, you have a fantastic new haircut, then all of a sudden, out of the blue, the clouds roll in and there is a torrential downpour of rain. What sequel are you going to use as an umbrella to protect your fancy new haircut? It is 2019 and Caleb Pryor can still go die in a trash fire. Scenario number 3 is you are in an English class lecture. Ah, the bad memories. And your English teacher is going on and on and on about this particular classic and how it revolutionized the world, but you know what? You hate it. You think it's stupid. You are totally willing to fling that classic back in her face, and detention is worth it. What classic is it? For me, this is not really one book, it's probably literally anything Hemingway wrote. I feel like he's so ingrained into English class literature that English class and Hemingway basically go together. I'm sorry if you love Hemingway, but I find his work boring and or confusing and or dry and or did that man get paid in run-on sentences. If I have to read Hills Like White Elephants one more time, and scenario number 4 is your least favorite book ever. Let's say you're hanging out the library and boom, another ice age hits. You need to burn books to stay alive. What is the first book you grab and you're totally not going to feel bad at all about watching it burn? Fun story. I didn't really hate any book until recently. I was either pretty much apathetic towards books, or I sort of liked them, or I really loved them. Which, now that I think about it, is probably a pretty healthy way to look at books. I haven't really read enough in the last couple of years to be keeping up with books and book trends because all my spare time was sort of sent right into writing. And now that I've been a writer for a couple of years and I've really paid attention to stories and writing structure and all the work that goes into it, I am way more judgmental of everything. Some things hold up, lots of other things, not so much. I gotta be honest, when I first read this scenario, my immediate thought was Throne of Glass because I just read that book and I had feelings about it, if you haven't noticed. But then I remembered that reading the last half of the book wasn't actually torture, and I came out just feeling sorta meh to the negative side of things, but I didn't really hate the book. Sure, there were plenty of lines and character moments that I hated, but then I remembered that I tried to read Sarah J. Maas's other work, and since I DNF'd this book at about halfway through and I'm never going to have a proper rant about it, here is a tiny mini rant just for you. I really liked the world building and the scenario and the setup, but the rest of the execution of the half that I did read was terrible. Feyre is the dumbest protagonist I have ever read, and I like it when my protagonists have 2 brain cells to rub together. I feel like this is supposed to be some empowering Beauty and the Beast story where the main love interest doesn't kidnap the main character, although he sort of still does, but I don't even care this time because Feyre literally murdered one of his best friends, and she knew she murdered his best friend, and she is supposed to be our sympathetic protagonist. What? I have got to tell you, one of the worst things you can do is start to hate a protagonist and be a little bit disgusted by them, and then start reading where they're having sexy fun times with the love interest. I have never really been physically revolted by anything I read in books because I don't tend to read gross or creepy books, so my reaction to this was a bit like... Duh! So there you have it, mini rant, Court of Thorns and Roses. Didn't like it, didn't want to read it, didn't want to finish reading it, never going to read it again. I don't ever really want to think about it again. Okay? Okay. End of the book sacrifice tag. Goodbye. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to subscribe and ding the little notification bell. I upload videos on Fridays about books or writing or movies. If you have a topic you would like me to talk about, leave it in the comment section below. I love to hear from you guys. And I will see all of you next week. Bye!